What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Cadence Bank Houston Open. We're doing some banking in Houston this week. You know what I mean?
Banking.
DB, Pat Perry, Tour Junkies together for the DraftKings and betting preview show, primarily DraftKings. Already did a little betting content today. Pat, good to see you. We got this one, and we got the RSM next week, and then we got a break, and we need a break.
We need a break.
Our computers need a break. Like
Yeah.
everything needs a break. Our technology sucks right now.
Mhm.
We got sound issues and all kind of stuff we can't figure out. Stuff just breaking, just to break on its own, just to break. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time to wind down the season.
Yeah.
But you know what, DB? I am drinking Tito's tonight.
You know what? Me too, brother. Virtual
Yes.
cheers.
Woo!
Cheers.
Cheers. Ding.
Podcast juice is flowing with Tito's, and I haven't done Tito's in a while. Look at us.
Well, I did the show with
you can't teach that. You can't teach.
You can't. I did the show with Rat House a few weeks ago because we've kind of flip-flopped a little bit of off weeks.
With a lot of substitute teaching going on. A lot of substitutes rolling in, people half-assing it,
Yeah. I mean, and I think you said, like, I went Tito's that night, and you were like, man, I wish I could get Tito's, Pat. So I'm giving you Planet Tito's. Speaking of substitutes, when you had a substitute teacher and they actually wanted to teach, and you're just like, what the hell is going on here? Like when you have a substitute teacher, they're supposed to just substitute.
Nail it in. Roll the TV. Bring the TV in on the roller.
Turn on a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you got that one that wanted to try and act like they were a teacher.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You ain't a real teacher. Get out of here, you trifling trick. Nita's in the chat. DFS Trash Talk Nita. I'm on that Grey Goose podcast juice. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in the live chat. All right, Pat, let's get into this. We got the Houston Open. We're at Memorial Park. As always, we're presented to you by our friends at Fantasy National Golf Club, the place, the one-stop shop for all your needs, that are DFS golf betting related. Those needs, let's not get weird. They don't really take care of other needs, but any needs like that, they got you. Okay. And if you go to fantasynational.com/TJ, you can save 20% off. Tell them the Tour Junkies sent you. We've been using those guys for 4 or 5 years. All your course history, stats, lineup optimizers, builders, ownership projections, models, all that stuff. fantasynational.com/TJ. Get it. I'm still dealing with a little bit of cough. Oh, God. But it's going to be good. We're going to have a good show. We're going to talk some DraftKings. Going to talk some maybe a few betting picks. I'd love to hear what you have to say, Pat. I did my my first look show this morning and had some betting thoughts. Already seen a lot of those numbers shortened too, by the way. I'm not saying I move lines, but I might move lines. I don't move lines, but
I didn't watch the show, so sorry.
Cool. No, thank you. It's okay. You got work to do. I understand. All right, let's kind of get into it. Memorial Park. This is the third year that we've seen this course in recent history on the PGA Tour. It took on a redesign. Tom Doak and apparently Brooks Koepka, whoever that is, redesigned this place back in 2019. My buddy Mark Hubbard, who I just interviewed, basically said, "Oh yeah, they just lengthened every hole by 50 yards and took out trees." So that was his synopsis of the renovations. It appears long on the scorecard. I will say this though, Pat. I found this in my research today. Both the last 2 years and including this year, so now 3 years in a row, the scorecard official scorecard says 7,400 yards, not dollars. 7,400 yards. The last 2 years, it's played about 7,100. That's how they've set it up. So just because it says 74 doesn't mean it's going to get there. That's tipped out all the way. So it might not
It's weird, though, because there are some short holes.
Yeah.
But there's some really long par fives on this course.
And long par fours. They're
par four. I meant to say par
490. Yeah. Yeah,
so it kind of still, like, if you hear 7,100 yards, you're kind of thinking, well, this is a short course, but
yeah,
there's some long damn holes for people out here.
And I think it's going to play firm and fast. Looking at the weather, there's not a lot of rain going on. It's Texas. It does look like you're going to get your standard Texas winds on the first couple days, maybe a little extra wind on the weekend, which I'm excited about that. And that's good. That means I think off the tee it's kind of open to anybody. You got to be able to hit your mid irons and long irons well here. And scoring the last couple years, Jason Kokrak won at 13 under. Or no, Kokrak was at 10 under. Carlos Ortiz was at 13 under. RIP to both those guys. They're at the Live Tour, so they're not here this week. They can't defend. So it's a little tougher. It's a tough track, man. Tough track.
Yeah, it's been in the top 10 toughest courses the last 2 years on tour out of 50.
Yeah.
Do we look for the next Live guy? Is that who we need to bet?
Maybe we do. Maybe, yeah. Too bad, Xander or Cantlay aren't in the field. We could get them. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll figure out how that goes. Not a lot of bunkers on this course either, Pat. Like 20 bunkers on the whole golf course. That's it. So it's a lot of like tightly mown runoffs and collection areas around the greens, similar to like a Southern Hills. So you got to be able to. I'm going to reference this tonight. I ran a little rolling report, which I love on Fantasy National for certain stats. I ran a rolling report on strokes gained around the green on Bermuda golf courses. I mean, we both know we play on Bermuda all the time. Like chipping on Bermuda is not easy for a lot of people. You're either comfortable on it or you're kind of not. A lot of guys that we've even interviewed guys that said this recently. Sometimes chipping on Bermuda is the thing you should look at and not necessarily putting on Bermuda. The chipping could be more uncomfortable for folks who didn't maybe grow up on it or aren't used to it or don't have a lot of experience on it. So I did reference that a little bit. But I think primarily this is an iron contest, getting around the greens, up and down when you miss, and rolling the rock on the Bermuda on the Bermuda surfaces, and maybe a little bogey avoidance, a little stat we don't normally get in the fall swing. A little dab.
Ooh, I like you sneaking sneaking that in there.
Yeah, a little
bogey avoidance.
Little dash of bogey avoidance. All right, let's talk picks, buddy. Let's talk it. Let's talk 9K.
Oh, we're already there? Damn,
yeah, let's do it.
that's quick.
Let's go to picks, man. 9K and above, you got Scotty Scheffler leading off. Second week in a row, we kind of got that, upper 11 price tag on a guy. So not quite as soft as we've been seeing it early in the fall swing. Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Hideki, Russell Henley. I guess we should talk about Russell Henley. Like, I completely whiffed on Russell Henley. And
I never saw that coming either. And I wasn't on the show last week, but I never saw that.
I just wouldn't have thought he'd win. Like, I've played plenty of Russell Henley this past year. I drafted him in the Pat Mayo freaking draft thing that I sucked at. Like, I played Russell Henley all the time. I just didn't think he was going to win. And he won handily. Now, I did have Joel Damon and Seamus Power, who finished third. They were both on the betting card. Talked up Seamus a lot on the Wednesday Night Live chat because he was projected around 5%. I thought that was crazy. He was like low nines. That was silly. I think Russell's going to be pretty low owned here. I don't think I want to play him at 10,000, but Russell Henley doing the dang thing. Another Bulldog getting it done. The Bulldogs just continue to roll, people. They continue to roll. You better recognize that. And so that's the 10K range. What do we think here, P? I think the chalk. I think people are going to go ahead and pay up for Scheffler. I was tinkering around a little bit today. Like you can put Scheffler and a 9K guy in your lineup. You can put Scheffler, Hideki, and a 8K guy in your lineup. You can still get it there. There are not many names in the 6K range I like, so it's going to be tough. I definitely think a balanced lineup is going to be your contrarian play, but I do think Scheffler is going to get plenty of love. Obviously played really well last week. He's got a good record here. He's your Texas guy, Texas connections, right? Finished runner up here last year, 22nd the year before. So he's going to be popular. We know that. I think Aaron Wise is going to continue to get some love. 9,900. Why wouldn't you like Aaron Wise here? I get it. And I think Taylor Montgomery is going to get a little bit of love. I'm not sure what to do with Sam Burns. I feel like he could get some attention, but I'm not sure. Who else? Anybody else in here you think I'm missing in terms of like where you think the ownership is going to go, where people are going to start their lineups?
Well, for the ownership, yeah, I do agree that people are still going to go up to Scheffler at 11.5. I mean, just he's
Yeah.
he's just going to. I mean, doesn't matter what his price is in this field. I think you're going to see some Aaron Wise at 9,900.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see some people go to him. I don't see a lot of people though playing Hideki.
Mm-mm.
I think that's going to be interesting. I don't see a lot of ownership there. Um, I feel like it's Montgomery, Wise, and Scheffler.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And I mean, I like all three. I think Taylor Montgomery. Why do I keep saying Tyler? I think Taylor. God, I almost said it again. I think Taylor Montgomery is actually a pretty solid
Wasn't
cash.
Tyler Montgomery? Is that like a? Is he a country singer?
He's got to be. If he's somewhere, there is a Tyler Montgomery who is a country singer at some level.
Yes.
Some level. Yeah, but I don't. It doesn't ring a bell. I actually think Taylor Montgomery is a cash play a little bit. As good as that fool has been playing, this lets him hit driver a little bit more. I think you could roll with it. So I do think that's there. You mentioned Hideki, man. He's one I'm liking. I've got my eyeballs on Hideki. He finished runner up here in his only attempt in 2021 to Carlos Ortiz. And I mean, he hasn't set the world on fire this fall, but he's Hideki. Like he doesn't have to, but he checks all the boxes: the iron play, the around the green play. Um, so I think if we have a low owned Hideki come Wednesday night, I will for sure be locking that in. And early fantasy national projections would have him as the lowest player in the 10K range, even to Russell Henley, which is strange. Wow. Yeah, man, that's
I
pretty
like that. And
pretty
you
wild.
mentioned, I guess, did you mention he was second here?
Yeah, yeah, in 2021 to
Yeah.
Ortiz. That's
So
pretty wild. There's another guy in here that I like that I usually never like, Pat.
I think I know who it is because I like him too.
I,
Should
I
we
have
say it on 1, 2, 3? Say it at the same time.
okay, sure.
Okay, ready?
Mhm.
1, 2, 3. Jason Day.
Jason Day. Yes, Jason Day. I
I mean,
know,
look,
dude.
he's playing well. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm finally in. I'm finally in, which means he is going to kick me in the butthole. I'm confident of
Maybe he's the live one.
it.
Maybe
Ooh,
he's the guy that's gonna go to live that we need to bet because the trend here is that they're the next live golfers.
I wonder what kind of offer Liv has made to Jason Day. Like, what would you offer Jason Day? Like, if you were the Liv guys, what would you offer? What kind of money we talk?
I feel like he's kind of boring. Like
He's
boring
kind of
enough where
lost
you
it a little bit.
like boring enough where even the live people are like,
Yeah,
I don't know what he does for us. Like, I mean,
he needs another win. He
yeah.
needs to win here. But I mean, the Aussies. Gosh dang! I'm sorry. I mean, this is the Aussies have. I mean, they have like Matt Jones, Wade Ormsby, Mark Leishman. They're
Yeah,
all
I get
playing except Cam
well,
Smith.
then Cam Smith. Maybe I don't know. Either way, I do like Jason Day this week. I mean, let's just look at how his recent results.
It's been
It's
solid.
it's good. I mean,
And
T8
you're seeing the irons. You're seeing the irons finally. That's
and
what
you're
we've
and
been
you're
missing.
seeing him play more. Last year,
Yeah,
the thing he
yeah,
said was, "I'm only," he was kind of easing like back out of injuries and whatever else. And he was like, "I'm only going to play certain events." He kind of had an easy schedule. Now he's playing a lot more, and I like it. And not only is he playing more, they're all top 25 finishes, and he's playing well.
yeah, dude. From January of 2022 through June, in 3 events, he gained strokes with his irons. 3 from January through June, 6 months. Since June, he's gained strokes with his irons in every event. 2, 4, 6, 7 events. He's gained strokes with his irons. I don't know what's happening. Maybe we try to find out, but that's really solid. I like Jason Day. How many people do you think are going to play Jason Day? He's probably people are noticing that the form is there. He's not going to go under the radar.
I definitely think they're noticing the form. I don't think he's going under the radar, but I bet he's under 15%.
Yeah. I'm kind of over in this range. Like I think now I'm just like, okay, I'm back. I'm back to being done. I think it's Grillo.
You're done with him?
Just for now. I'm just putting him on the
Putting him
shelf.
up in the cupboard.
He's in the cupboard just for a minute. I'll get him
Just
back
like
out. I will. I'll
no.
get him back out, but I don't want him out right now. This will be like his 7th event in the fall. He's played basically everything.
Mhm.
He didn't play Bermuda.
I agree with this take, by the way. I was thinking the same thing about
He didn't play
Grillo.
Bermuda. That's it. I think I'm kind of good. I'm good. He's still 9,100. Grillo, which I don't know.
Don't put him in the wrong cupboard though. Like don't put him in the cupboard where like
Wrong cover.
you never go in there, like there's some plates in there that you never use. Like just put him where the other cups are that you use so that you at least
Do you have a go-to plate?
I do. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I have a go-to plate. It's actually got a little chip on it, so I know that it's the go-to
Oh,
plate.
oh. Uh,
It's the it's the go-to plate. I have go-to cups too. I mean, obviously, look, I mean, you
well, I mean, I
I
love
have a go-to cup.
I love my Masters cups. I
Yeah.
always use these. Like I don't. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of do. I have plates that I prefer.
You
Mm,
know what my real go-to though is a bowl that's like it was taken from a hotel room, like like a you know room service. I like the bowl so much when they brought me room service. I didn't steal it. I took it, and so it's my favorite
Oh,
bowl.
you didn't steal it, you took it? That's the same thing. Yeah, I didn't steal it, I took it. That sounds like a 4-year-old. What kind of bowl? I don't even understand. I don't
It's like a hotel bowl. I mean, like you don't
I only
find these
stay at
bowls.
hotels that you can't get room service. You can go downstairs and get like a
Well, mate,
Nutri-Grain bar and a Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and
it
that's it.
kind of has this like it's hard to explain. It's like a bowl you would find in a hotel, but you can't like just buy it anywhere.
Maybe you gotta bring it for show and tell,
I'll
for
bring it.
us,
It has a chip in it too. That's the thing about it too. It like won't break. Like I've dropped it all over the damn place and it will not break.
Oh, dear. Okay. Um, that's ridiculous. Any other plays in here? I think we kinda got this figured. I mean, oh, by the way, from the betting standpoint, I talked about this. I feel like Hideki at 22-1 on DraftKings is a pretty good value. I like that. Um, Taylor Montgomery was 29-1 on FanDuel. I don't know if he's still there. According to Data Golf, he is still there. Yep. So he's 29-1. And then Day is 33-1 on MGM. You got anybody else up top?
Well, I like Aaron Wise at 18-1. I like
And I love Aaron Wise. I love Aaron Wise. It's so hard for me to bet him at like 20-1 or less.
yeah, I know.
I don't know because
I
it's
can't
been
believe we
so
haven't even
long.
talked about Maverick McNeely though.
I know.
Why would we not look at him? I mean, he's 26-1, but
I know.
what about DFS? I mean, look how well he's playing.
I
Ti
know.
10th at the Shriners, 12th at Zozo, T18 at the CJ Cup,
He's
top
playing
10
well.
last week.
It's all the flat stick. His flat stick is hot right now.
He is scoring because if you
He is
play it,
like
Prize Picks, I've been going against him on birdie or better matchups on Prize Picks, and he's killing me because he'll be up against like a Scheffler or something, and you're like, oh well, Scheffler's definitely having more birdies, and he's kicking their ass with birdies, making a ton of birdies.
yeah, he's the cup looks pretty large to Mav right now, I think. He is rolling in everything. He's looking at Denny McCarthy and saying, like, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna be the best putter in the world.
Yeah.
He's really rolling it. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
So
I
it's
don't love it, but
26
I
to
don't hate it.
1.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Joel Damon at 45 to 1. I think I would play Joel as a cash play.
I had him on the betting card, and I told the people in the Nut Hut that we got good word on Joel last week. which was good. And he finished third. A lot of people rostered him. That was good. I'm always just kind of cautiously optimistic with Joel until we get further reports. I don't know. I don't see this as being a course that Joel's gonna love, but at the same time, he has played the one time he's played here. I think he's only played here once. I think he played it pretty well.
Yeah, well, he's played this course once. He was
Yeah,
T5
finished fourth.
last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could get down with it. I guess. I guess to me, like the only two names in here I just really don't want any part of would be Grillo, Henley.
What about Finau?
Finau's an interesting one, isn't he? Like last week I didn't really love it. I didn't play any of them. I don't think I talked him up at all. Because I kind of saw it as a yeah, I mean, like he played the President's Cup and then just Mayakoba. And his press conference last week, he talked about how he loves coming here with the family and the beach. And I was like, okay, are you just here to like go to the beach and shake the rust off for the Houston Open? I don't really know what the deal is. But I think he's in play. I'm interested to see where his ownership falls because I think you know it's not like his history here is incredible. T24 first year, miscut the second year, coming off the miscut
He's
last week.
he's a fade for me. That was my fade that I wrote down.
Really,
Mhm.
I mean, he checks the boxes though. Like,
He
actually,
checks a lot of boxes. He's probably number one in a lot of stat models.
I did a full model today. Like, I had plenty of time. I did a full on. I'm talking. I freaking modeled today, Pat. Like I modeled harder than I typically model today.
Like, it
And
was like the Victoria's Secret, like, angel show.
oh yeah,
You're walking around in an
oh
angel
yeah.
outfit
This, this
modeling.
yeah, this bitch got wings on it. It got wings, and you clean your headers in your VCR right before it shows up.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I put a lot of work into it, effort into it. It's got a lot of inputs, you know, and he's second in the model. He's second. I mean, he's still Tony
He's
Finau, like I think he just wanted to vacate last week, but it's Houston, bruh. You been to Houston? No offense to anybody in Houston. Houston sucks. I mean,
I've never been to Houston. I have no clue.
I've been to of the major Texas cities, which I'm counting as Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. Houston is definitely number 4 out of those 3.
I feel like Texas has all these now, look, I apologize to the Texas people because 'cause I've been there, but only in airports, but, like, I feel like it's always like you have Dallas, but then, like, Fort Worth's the better area, or you got Houston, and then there's some other community that's I don't
Yeah.
know,
Listen,
Austin or something. Everybody loves Austin. Austin's supposed to be great, I
Austin's
hear.
not near Houston. I don't
I
think.
know, I'm just throwing that out there. There's all these little side communities in Texas. It's not the major cities, it's the side communities.
The suburbs, I think.
I don't know, yeah.
Okay. All
Like
right.
Highland Park, where's Highland Park? That's where Matthew Stafford's from. Is that
I
near
don't know.
Houston or Dallas? I don't know.
I don't know
I
either. I don't know either. But I do know that people in Houston, in all parts of Houston and Texas, confirmed love coffee. And if you love
mm,
coffee and you love golf, then Front Nine Coffee is for you. Okay, our friends at Front Nine Coffee help support a small business started right here in Augusta, Georgia this year, saddling up with the Tour Junkies to make golfers drink some better coffee in the morning. And boy, are they doing it. So go to front9coffee.com, front the number 9coffee.com, use promo code TJ10, get 10% off your entire order. You can use that over and over again. It's not just a first order. My boy Mike Fusco just reached out to me in the Discord today. He said, DB, the wife and I just ordered our first front nine. We got it. We had it today. It was delicious. Thank you. What a great guy supporting the cause. If you
mhm.
want to support the Tour Junkies, that's one way you can do it, is supporting a business like Front Nine has gotten behind us for a lot of this year. They got behind our golf tournament, and they're just doing great things in the coffee business. Listen, they don't want you to drink the same just boxy, gassed up, nasty grocery store coffee that you're used to drinking. So you can go online, you can order the coffee anywhere in the US or Canada, they'll ship it to you. And when you order it, then they're gonna roast it, and they're gonna roast it to your, your flavor. They're gonna either send you the whole bean or the grind coffee, and it's gonna be delivered fresh to your front door within a couple days. And it's fresh. Okay. Me and Pat have our own flavors you can check out. They're available for purchase on front9coffee.com. And they're just good people. So check them out. By the way, if you have a Keurig, you get the little Keurig reusable filter. You order them on Amazon for like $9. I got one. I do that because you know what? If you have a Keurig and you're buying those stupid pods, first of all, they're overpriced for what you get. Cut one of them bitches open at the top and look how much coffee's in there. It's like that much coffee in there. You're getting ripped off, and you're not getting the strength of the coffee. Get the reusable filter, pour it all in there, fill it up to the line. You got some put some hair on your chest a little bit.
Mhm.
Maybe actually wake your butt up. Or if you have one of Pat's spaceship coffee makers, and you just don't worry about it. But anyway, check it out, front9coffee.com. Promo code TJ10. That's where it's at. All right, 8K range.
Here we go.
8K range. This is an interesting spot. I mean, I definitely I think the 8K range is going to be one of those ranges this week where people talk some names. Guys are going to, people with shows and cameras and microphones are going to talk up names
The
on
microphones that work.
the microphones at
The
work, which ain't
the
ours.
the technology that works.
They're going to talk up some names in here, but when the rubber meets the road and you start building lineups, I just don't know. I think there's going to be one or two guys in here that hit that are going to be chalky. I mean, I think Matt Naismith is going to be up there. I think possibly Pendrith, but it's harder when you want to cram in, Scheffler, Burns, Wise, Montgomery, and then I just don't see a lot of people getting here. So I like this range. Obviously, I love Matt Naismith. I always love Matt Naismith. I don't know when I will not like Matt Naismith. I've been riding the horse, and I'm going to ride him till he bucks me. Even if he is chalk, he's going to be chalk I'm eating. He's not great, chipping on Bermuda, but he doesn't have to be when he hits me freaking greens and regulations. So he checks a lot of boxes, looks good in the model. Doesn't have a great record here. 46 last year, missed the cut the first year, but I think he's just such a better player now than he has been the last 2 years. Starting off his fall swing, missed the cut at the 14 net, no big deal. That's after a month break. And then he comes back to the Sanderson, finishes ninth, Shriners runner-up, Zozo ninth. I mean, Matt Naismith is just due, and he's coming. So I'm in on Naismith. He's at 40-1 on DraftKings, I believe, if you want to bet that. He's also plus 160 in the top 20 market. He's one of those first, shorter top 20 plus money numbers that I like there. And then the next one for me is going to be Davis Riley, Pat. I like to see a little bit of what Riley showed on last week for the Worldwide Technology Mayakoba Championship or whatever it was. But is gonna have plenty of distance. But when you look at the mid iron, long iron performance, the approach play for Riley, very solid. The around the green game's been decent enough. He's about tour average. Just needs to hit maybe a couple more fairways would be nice. But Davis Riley to me is worth a look. He's going to score if he makes the weekend. He's just a scorer. He's 50-1 in the outright market. And that may be a name that also shows up on the betting card. Not sure yet, but I'm looking there at 50-1. That's about it for me in this range.
Well, we have a lot of agreement here because I like Naismith as well. I think for all the reasons that you said, definitely a fan of Davis Riley. I think he's probably a cash play for me. If you look at just the form and everything else, Riley definitely checks a lot of boxes. So at 8,400, I'm a fan of him. I like Taylor Pendrith. He's kind of been like if you go to his recent form, he had that kind of hot sort of finish to the season, and then we haven't seen him since the Shriners with that T44. But he does check a lot of boxes other than putting really on Bermuda, and the scrambling stat. But long off the tee, strokes gained off the tee, fairways gained, checks the box there. It's rare that you see a guy as accurate as he is off the tee and as long as he is off the tee. So I like that about him this week, and strokes gained approach. So Taylor Pendrith is one of my favorites in here as well. And I really don't have anybody at the bottom of the 8K range. None of those guys.
I don't
Other
mind
than
Taylor
Riley's
Moore.
where I stop pretty much.
Yeah, I don't mind Taylor Moore. I could see me getting down a little bit on that. I don't love Pendrith. I think I might
50-1, by the way, too.
Yeah. Who else I don't love? Like Alex Noren just feels like a guy who does, like when you look at him, like he just does a couple of things really well, and then everything else extremely average to worse than average. He just feels like a very average tour player to me.
I kind of wish Noren would go to live.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to mess with him anymore.
So you're not going to mess with him at live at all? You haven't watched my live video or podcast, and maybe you had your heart softened some to live?
No, I mean, I'm sure, like, if he goes to live, I would be sucked into playing him in a live contest or whatever I might do. But I just want to try to avoid him for a little bit. I want him out of my way. I don't want to look at his name.
Oh, well, I feel that. I mean, I can get down with that on a couple names. I get that. Listen, the Nut Hut. The Nut Hut must be joined. If you are listening to us, listen, I don't understand this, guys. The Nut Hut's killing it. The chat was amazing last week. We had a great chat. We did our first ever live listener, what's the word? Listener, what's the word, Pat? What am I looking for? Collaboration.
Listener collaboration. We do that all the time.
No, we did it with a round robin. We made a round robin betting card with the listeners. It was so much fun. We had a great time, and we hit a couple of legs of it. So it wasn't a total loss, but Grayson Sig really killed us. We had him as a top 40. He shot 3 over to finish 42nd on Sunday. Who else killed us? Oh, the freaking Vikings. We had the Vikings -3, and they won by 3. That push kind of hurt us anyway. It was a great time. The Wednesday night live chat was a blast. We'll do that again this week. Every week you get that. The round robin play was fun. And like I said, last week I had a couple of inside deals. I had one name that I said you probably need to avoid, and I had one name that you should play based on some intel. The name that I said you should avoid is not a name that we've been avoiding, and he's been playing well, and he missed the cut last week. And then the other guy was Joel Damon. He finished 3rd. Listen, I don't understand if you listen to us and you're not in the Nut Hut, what you're doing, because it is $90 a year. And I assure you that there will be 1 week where you make that $90 easy.
Easily.
Easy.
Whether it's a bet,
yes,
DraftKings, Prize Picks, whatever it is.
Prize Picks, we killed it again last week in the NFL and NBA world. And then, yeah, it could be Prize Picks. It could be DFS stuff. It could be that 1 week where I give you that little nugget that I got or whatever. I'm just telling you, it's a no-brainer. So go to tourjunkies.com/nuthut. Check it out. Join the Discord server. If Discord intimidates you, trust me, you will learn it quickly. If Pat can learn it, anybody can learn it. It's a lot of fun. The community in there is tremendous. I got people in the chat. Talk it up. Listen, if you're watching this and it's not live, we've already finished. Put in the comments why you love the Nut Hut. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. And I know golf is winding down this year, but the NFL is in full force. We're doing that. We're covering that in there. We've got some sharp bettors, DFS players, Prize Picks players covering NFL and NBA. It's just such a fun community. We got some good stuff going on. So get in there. It's easy. $10 a month or $90 a year. I promise you'll make your money back. Okay. 7K range. Talk to me, Pat. Who do we think the 7K range darlings are going to be? Who's going to where the chalk going to be? I think that's how we say it now. Who we think?
I think there's a few that you can look at. I think Patrick Rogers. I mean, Patrick Rogers is I mean, he is on fire lately. And I'm a Patrick Rogers fan. I try to avoid him sometimes, but I mean, top 30s in his last 4 events. Not bad. Scoring, doing all the things you need him to do. He's at 7,800. I think there's going to be some ownership there. I think Will Gordon is going to have some
Yeah,
ownership. It's
I think so too.
7,700.
Taco
Also,
Supreme.
Taco playing well. I dubbed him Taco in the Nut Hut. By the way,
Mhm.
you don't. Hey, if you're in the Nut Hut, you get to hear about how we named him. Will Gordon Taco.
That's it.
So, but yeah, he's at 7,700. I think you're going to see some ownership there. One other, I think Dean Burmester is going to be talked up a good bit this week.
Yep.
If he's not talked up, then you play him for sure. Well, I'm going to play him anyway. I think because I love him this week.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think he is going to have some ownership. But we'll see where that goes. The guy I think that's a pivot though off of Burmester is right above him. Lee Hodges at 7,600. He's another guy that's been playing
No.
well.
Lee Hodges is I was just about to say I will add one more chalk play, and it's gonna be Lee Hodges.
You think he'll be chalky?
Yep, I do. I mean, he's just been so consistent. It's not like he's a rookie. Like we know who Lee Hodges is. He's a known commodity. Um, but he's just been playing solid. He's making cuts. His ball striking has been tremendous. I don't think he's going under the radar at all. I wish he was, but I don't think he is. I think your under the radar picks in the Burmester, Hodges, Gordon, and Mackenzie Hughes. I think Mackenzie Hughes is going to be popular too. Might be Alex Smalley. Like and Smalley's not going to be unowned. Like he's going to be owned,
Yeah, he'll be
but
in.
but he's not. But he's not going to be as popular as those other guys. And I mean, Smalley checks a lot of boxes for me, and he's playing well too. The mid sevens is hot. And that's why I say about some of the lineup construction stuff, because like if you try to cram in a couple of these guys up top, you can't get up here. You have to go into the 71, 72, 73 range. Um, so I think there's something to a more balanced build, kind of being a contrarian play a little bit, maybe putting in a couple of these guys, going with some 8K guys, low 7 or low 9K guys that are going to be unpopular. That could be an interesting build. But I think Hughes, Gordon, Hodges, Burmester are all going to be the chalk plays here in the 7K range. I think everybody else is kind of, I mean, there's going to be levels, but
I think English is going to be a sneaky play in here. He's not going to check a box for you,
I've been
except for
talking
putting.
them up a little bit. I've been
People
talking
are
them up a little bit,
who
but I
you
don't,
have.
yeah, I have been, but I don't know. I don't think a lot of other people have been. I think I liked him not last week, but the week before when he didn't do as well. Um, oh no, yeah, I talked him up at the CJ Cup a little bit. He finished 40th.
Okay, well, let's talk about somebody else. Because obviously, you and I are on a few text groups where we talk about some picks, some gambling
Hmm.
plays,
Hmm.
and this gentleman's name came across, and I don't know. I need to figure out where your head's at with this because I almost sent Columbia County policeman after you for a wellness check because you mentioned Mackenzie Hughes as somebody that you were wanting to bet or maybe play in DFS. I don't know. Well, I mean, that's not something DB would say or talk about.
I know, man. Listen, I've already bet him. I've already bet him. I talked him up this morning, um, on the Monday morning show. He is currently still 65-1, I believe is the best number you can get on him. He's plus 240 in the top 20 market. I may have come around. It's a little bit like Jason Day. I mean, this is kind of my first couple times dipping my toes in here a little bit, and I, I'm I like a guy. I like a guy who's willing to say, "Hey, I suck at this thing right here, and I need to improve this, and I'm gonna do something radical. Which, you might say, "Well, DB, I thought you hated Bryson DeChambeau." I do, but that's because he's a douche. But
What does he suck at? Golf, or you
Mackenzie
mean like
Hughes
something?
sucks. He sucks at distance and iron play predominantly, which is why I've never liked him because he's extremely dependent on the short game. But after the win, all we've heard about is how Mackenzie Hughes has been he's been in the gym. He's been pumping iron. He's been getting stronger. He's upped his ball speed, his club head speed. And he's come out in the first few events. The irons are like looking good, very weird, very strange. I said this on the Monday morning show. This is crazy. This is crazy. Mackenzie Hughes has 161 logged tournaments in Fantasy National, Pat. Okay? 161. He's been on tour for a long time.
Now,
Did
he
you
also
know?
plays a shit ton.
Yeah, he does. Did you know that when he won a couple weeks ago at the Sanderson Farms Classic, he gained 5.3 strokes on approach, and that is the fourth best approach performance
Hmm.
of those 161 log tournaments. That is crazy because, I realize 5.3 strokes on approach is good, but do you know how many worse players than Mackenzie Hughes have that many log tournaments have had way more spiked approach weeks than that? There's a lot. There's a handful. You'd be surprised who those names might be. And so I might be buying the new bod, Orange Theory Mackenzie Hughes. I might be buying it. I think I am buying it. I'm buying it this week. If it burns me, I might set his ass on fire
I
again.
feel like he would have opened up better than 65-1, but maybe not. I don't know. What
Oh,
was that? When you did the early show, that's what he was.
on the early show, you could get him on Bet Rivers at 80-1 if you had access to Bet Rivers. But other than that, he was 65-1. He's not going to open up that much short. That much longer. He freaking won like two
I
starts.
know, but he's still Mackenzie Hughes.
He is, and I don't feel great about it, but I do have conviction about it the opposite way of what I normally have conviction about, which is I can't stand him. He obviously is a really good scrambler. He's one of the best scramblers in golf. Checks the box there in terms of Bermuda. Obviously, he's a really good putter. The model hates him, but the model doesn't account for Orange Theory, and lifting and kettlebell swings and hitting the ball long.
There's no strokes gained orange theory.
Fantasy National hadn't loaded that in there yet. So what the distance is going to do is it's going to give him shorter irons in, and it's going to put shorter irons in his hand. I don't know. I kind of like it.
I don't mind it. You know who I need to fade is Adam Long. Adam Long keeps getting me every week.
I think I think
It's
in the
time
Nut Hut
for me to
last
quit
week.
him.
I think in the Nut Hut last week, even though I talked him up a little bit, I think in the Nut Hut I said let's bounce. Let's get off of him. He was a little too chalky for me.
Mhm.
He could be a little bit chalky this week. We'll see. I think he's finished 11th here both years.
He's
He
100 to
he
1 though.
does he
100 to
does
1.
check a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Like maybe with Adam Long, like you just toss the $5 on him at 100 or $10 on him at 101 and forget it. Like who cares?
Or he's top 20 plus 330. Just go with that.
Yeah.
Throw a high dollar amount on him at plus 330, Put $100 on it.
Burmester, did we talk about? Oh, Burmester was the one whose odds we caught this morning. Like this is why the Monday morning show is key. Burmester was 95-1 on FanDuel this morning. 95. The best number I think you can find him now is like 65, 70 maybe. He was long. And
He's still, yeah.
is he still 95-1 on FanDuel?
No, he's dropped to 55.
Yeah. Yeah, his best number
Bunch
now
of people hammered that.
is 66 on MGM. When I saw 95-1, I was like, everybody hit that right now. Now, that was not the reason his number dropped, but because not enough people watch that show, unfortunately. But Burmester's coming. Like, dude's a stud, hits it a mile, Love Burmester. I mean, he's won. He's won. He's won on the DP World Tour. I
He is
like that.
80-1 on Bet365.
Oh, so if you can get that, he's
Yeah.
plus 240, top 20. I do like that on DraftKings. I like a little Davis Thompson.
Yes.
I like DT.
Hey, another Bulldog right there.
Another Bulldog, had him on the podcast. Really good iron player, really good ball striker overall. Plenty of distance, hits it a long way. Long irons check out, mid irons check out. Bermuda, he's super comfy on. He's a Sea Island guy. I like DT a good bit at 7,300. I think he's 125-1 on Bet Rivers. That was the longest we found this morning on him. I think he's 100-1 on DraftKings if you want that. And he is, probably a good top 20 number too. One guy that I did not like this morning when I was I didn't, not that I didn't like him, but I didn't notice him this morning when I was doing the betting show. But when I ran my model, he actually is, you're not going to believe this. That model, okay, that I spent all this time on today. Guys, this is we need an alert. We need some kind of alert for this, because this means my model is very broken. Very broken. Or we have found a diamond in the rough. Because I have a player here, Pat, at $7,100 who is fifth in my model. Fifth.
I know who it is.
Who is it?
I'm going to guess it's David Lipsky.
No.
Damn it. Wait, give me one more guess. Hang on.
Okay.
One more guess.
Lewis said Tyler McCumber. He's an old school TJ fan.
How about Tyler McCumber? Where is he anyway?
He's cutting his dad's grass.
I don't know. Either Brendan Steele or Martin Laird. That's all I got.
No and no.
What
In
model?
In my model, the fifth ranked player overall is Steven Yeager. Or Stefan, like Steve Urkel.
There's no way. Like, what did you add into there? Because there's only like approach and scrambling that, like, how did you weight this?
He kills it in approach. He kills it in scrambling. He kills it in putting. Long term,
78th in the field in putting on Bermuda.
Last 100 rounds, he is 18th in the field. I got a big sample size on putting, Bermuda.
That's what I did.
Yeah, he's showing 18th.
The hell, something's off here.
Maybe we have to investigate further. He checks a box in long term 150 to 175 proximity. He's sixth. 28th in 175 to 200 yard proximity. That helps him. He's not as short as you may think he is. He's 59th in driving distance over the last 50 rounds, 36th in bogey avoidance. The only things he
is kind of short, actually. I mean, like,
yeah, I mean, he's not. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's wild, but it is. So maybe we'll look into that a little more. Maybe our boy Caddy John in the Nut Hut will tell us about. He knows Yeager really well. He knows Yeager's game. I'll ask him about Yeager here, but he's there. I'm just telling you, he's there. So something to be aware of. Listen, also, you guys need to be aware that you're probably losing your hair, and we don't want that. We don't want that. Your lady doesn't want that.
No,
they just don't want it. And our friends at Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol's hair growth nutraceuticals go beyond genetics, target the root causes of thinning.
Did you say
hair.
nutraceuticals?
You know it. This includes, they target stress, hormones, nutrition, metabolism, aging, and lifestyle through whole body health. Physician formulated using natural medical grade ingredients, Nutrafol's drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. In a clinical study, men showed progressive improvement in hair growth and thickness after just 3 and 6 months. And Nutrafol is also trusted and recommended by more than 3,000
bottom doctors.
Top doctors. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com/men and entering
Men.
promo code Tour Junkies to save $15 off your first month subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's available only to U.S. customers for a limited time, plus free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com/men, spelled Nutrafol.com/men.
Men.
Promo code Tour Junkies to get it while it's hot and the getting's good. Oh, by the way, big announcement here, Pat. Don't shut this off right now. Listen to this. Okay. I'm going to take a sip. Listen, don't just stop.
I'm going to take a sip and a cough.
Okay. At Golby's Cup, we raised some money for 28 Bold. We raised $1,500 for 28 Bold. My wife and I's nonprofit, 501c3. So you get a tax deduction. You're going to get an emailed receipt as soon as you donate. 501c3 certified, putting wells in the ground on the continent of Africa. There's a well project needed in Togo, Africa. Okay. It's a very small little spot, Togo, Africa. Look it up. We have a drill in place. We have a site picked out. We need $4,000 more. And I told the wife that by the end of the year, Tour Junkies, that well is going to be a Tour Junkies well. And Tour Junkies is going to fund the well. And we're going to put a plaque there. It's going to be great. And we started with the 1,500. It's going to take 5,500 to do the whole thing. And we're going to give a bunch of people who do not have access to clean water. We're going to give a bunch of those people access to clean water in their own community, right there in their own community. Right now, these people are walking, mostly women and children, because the men don't get the water. They're doing other things. The women and children are usually responsible for getting the water. They have to walk and risk being assaulted, risk having stuff stolen from them. It's time consuming, all these things. So we can get clean water to them with another $4,000. And Giving Tuesday is coming. It's in November. It's usually the week of Thanksgiving. Giving Tuesday is a big deal. A lot of people are going to give money to various nonprofits, 501c3s around the country. Get that. That's awesome. If you don't have one that you support regularly and you want one, you want to support something, check out 28bold.com. And if you give, put in the memo. You can type in there. You can give on a card, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, you're going to get emailed a receipt. You're going to get emailed a receipt immediately, so you can use it for your tax write-off. Go to 28bold.com.
Kissler, hold off on the comments of the chat before
28bold.
let TV finish.
28bold.com. Put in Tour Junkies well in the memo, but also we're going to go ahead and get a category. We're going to go ahead and get a specific category marked in 28bold.com. So when you click in there, you'll just see the Tour Junkies well, and I'll put it out on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So just be on the lookout for it. But we want you guys to be aware of that. $4,000 more. We can have our own completely sponsored well, giving hundreds of people access to clean water. Thought that was pretty cool.
Yes, it's awesome. And Kissler needs to add. He has to add, double his
Yeah, you have to double your
contribution for that comment that he just made.
Okay, 6K range, Pat. I don't love it. I got to be honest. I'm not a fan. There's a couple names in here, maybe. I like Dylan Fratelli.
I was going to say Fratelli. I cannot believe you
are
Fratelli.
Yes. I know we never talk about Dylan Fratelli.
We never talk about Fratelli.
University of Texas guy, hits it a long way and really good scrambler. Everything else, hot garbage. But it's 6K land. He finished 19th here last year. I think Fratelli is worth a look at 6,800. At least he's made some cuts here in the fall swing. I mean, Mayakoba's not really built for Dylan Fratelli's game. 13th at the Sanderson, 29th at the Zozo. That's a tough field. I kind of like Fratelli. I also kind of like EVR, Eric Van Rooyen, right there at 6,800, showing some signs of life. Other than that, I really don't like this range. I guess I'll be giving out my 6K plays in the Nut Hut on Wednesday night because I need to do a little more digging into this model. The model doesn't really like a lot of 6K guys, and neither do I.
The model doesn't like many at all. I'm
But
surprised you didn't mention Ben Griffin, though. I mean, he's made his last, 4 cuts
yeah,
with
I
the
like Ben.
with the 3rd at the Butterfield, Bermuda.
This course is starting to come out of his wheelhouse a little bit, I think. And next week is definitely a Ben Griffin spot, as he is the course record holder at the Seaside course, I believe, with a 59, and he broke his own record, had a 60. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But yeah, getting a little bit out of his comfort zone. He's played a lot of golf too. I wouldn't mind to see him miss the cut. Honestly, what I want to see happen. No offense, Ben, because I like him a lot. Had him on the show. Great kid. I want to see him miss the cut, and then people, he gets an extra 2 days of rest to go home to Sea Island and chill, and people are kind of like off the scent, and then we roll with him next week.
I don't mind it. A few more that I'll talk about, though. MJ Defoe.
Yeah,
He's also a guy that's not gonna check a lot of boxes, although he is, very long off the tee. Um, he's had some good finishes in the fall. So I do like it. Well, I say that. He's making a lot of cuts. He's made his last 3 out of 4 cuts, top 30 at Bermuda. I like him. I like Harry Hall. He's at 6,400. If you want to go real cheap, he had a top 15 at the Shriners, T63 in Bermuda. Missed his other 2 cuts, but he's another guy that checks a box. Like you look at scrambling, he's top 10 in the field. He's top 20 in putting on Bermuda. He's top 20 in driving distance. So Harry Hall is another one that I think you could look at if you want to go really cheap at 6,400. I agree though. These 6K guys are ones that we're going to need to look at later in the week, and we'll maybe talk up a little bit in the Nut Hut.
I like the MJ call. Also, like we got to talk about freaking David Lingmerth. Like what he's doing. Hey, shout out Khalil Seen. Khalil Seen just joined the Nut Hut. He's probably watching live. Khalil, if you're watching, thanks, man. Maybe we just sold him on the Nut Hut thing. Otherwise, it's just random. David Lingmerth does not have full status. He has like past champion status. I mean, the guy is golfing his ball right now. 11th at the Butterfield, 8th at the Mayakoba event. Obviously, 2 courses that set up very well for David Lingmerth, who, hits it as far as Pat. But I mean, if if we get reports, which I think we will, that Memorial is playing firm and fast, and we assume that they're not going to tip it out to 7,400 yards like they've not done the last 2 years. I mean, Lingmerth might be in play again. He's here on a sponsor's exemption for finishing, or the automatic exemption for getting a top 10 last week. He's just rolling, like he's just doing his thing. So I think Lingmerth's possibly worth a look down here. A lot of people talked about on the Monday morning show today, Veerman, the big hitting. What's he? South African? Isn't he South African? But he played at like Texas A&M or something.
German, yeah.
Um, he hits it
Speaking of South Africans, isn't that where MJ's from?
Is MJ South African?
I don't know. I only brought him up because I just wanted to talk about the chat because
Oh.
they're correcting me,
Oh, is
and
it
I don't care how his last name is
How'd you
actually
say it?
pronounced.
Defu?
I don't care until you win or actually do something decent. Then you need to. You're gonna. I'm gonna tell you how your name is pronounced. I will tell you how your name
Defu.
is pronounced.
Defu. Listen, when we're drinking Tito's and it's 10
You
o'clock.
can't have an AU or whatever on the end of your name and expect it to be pronounced Duffy.
No, you can't expect Pat to pronounce anything
Put
correctly
a
ever.
EY on that shit. You need a Y for a E.
I
Duffy.
think
Or
it
it
should
needs
be
to be
IE.
DUFFEE. You can't put a U on the end of that.
I mean, he didn't do it.
Yeah, but I mean, no, but I'm just saying, and it's not his fault, but you can't put a UE on the end and expect to be caught. If there's a U in there,
Oh, I had a question. All right, before we get out of here, I have a question for
but
the
I don't
chat.
really care what AC says anyway.
I have a
Go
question
ahead.
for the chat. Did you see the video of Charlie Woods?
I saw him. I saw a video of him teeing off.
First of all, Is Charlie Woods on steroids? I mean, the kid is yoked.
Something's. We don't
He's
need it.
yoked.
We shouldn't talk about kids in that
He
way.
is yoked. The boy is yoked. He has traps.
How old is he now?
I think he's 14. He's not 15. Anyway, my question for the chat is, if you were to set the odds, if you were the bookmaker, okay, what are you setting the odds at that Charlie Woods wins a major? What are you truly setting them at? Like, you are setting the lines, and I'm going to bet against you, the book. What are you setting the odds at? Yeah, look, Jackie knows it. Kid is ripped. I'm telling you, Charlie Woods is a brick shit house. He's a brick shit house.
I feel like you can't. I don't know. Charlie Woods is going to win a major.
So what would you set the odds at?
I mean, because winning a major is difficult. So it's got to be. I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody would bet. 20-1.
Dude, he's got
I'd say right around like
20-1. What the no, you can't say 20-1. He's not 20-1.
That's what I said.
AC said 33-1. Are you guys knucking futz? He's 14. The odds are way longer than that, guys.
I was going to say 50. I was going to say 50-1.
You guys are terrible bookmakers. I would.
What would you put it at?
I would never bet with you at 50-1 to win a major.
His dad won 13 of them or 14 of them. It
doesn't matter. He could be. He's 14. He barely even understands his own body at this point.
Have you ever seen him play golf?
Yes, I have. He could be a mental disaster by the time he gets there. He could be
his dad is Tiger Woods.
His dad, I know, and that's why he could be a mental disaster. The pressure that kid is, you could see. I think he's holding all the pressure in his traps. There's no way. There's zero chance anyone in their right mind would bet on him at 50-1. Look at this picture of him right now. Look at this picture of him. He is 14. He's standing next to Ryan.
I would bet him at 50-1.
Who's a grown man.
Like, you give me 50-1 right now, I would.
Look at the trapezius muscles on him right now. 50-1. You are
75,000-1.
750-1 makes sense. I get that. No, I would legitimately put it at 300-1, 400-1. I think that's a legit number. You guys,
that is so stupid. You have got to be out of your mind.
No. To win a major, Pat, he has to win a major. Look at the odds on majors right now. Do you know how many kids at 14 across America?
Lifetime.
Hold on. Do you know how many kids at 14 across America right now have beautiful golf swings, stunning golf swings? They're everywhere.
Do you know how many kids have Tiger Woods as their dad? They're not everywhere. There's only one.
Which you could argue, of course, there are benefits to Tiger Woods being his dad. That is more of a benefit than a detriment. But if my kid has the most beautiful swing in all of golf and has all the talent in the world, you know what he's not going to have? The pressure of the GOAT at his golf tournaments and carrying his bag and wiping his clubs off and coaching him up day in and day out and having the freaking,
You're continuing to make my case that his son will be very good at golf.
No. I mean, it's not. I just think there's pressure with that, and to win a major, like this, I am impressed. Listen, I'm impressed. The swing looks amazing.
Okay, well,
the traps are amazing, but there's zero chance I would even. Here's the point where I would not have laughed at you. If you just said anything at 150-1 or longer, I would have been okay. Even if you just said 151, I'd been like, okay, I would go a little longer than that. Less than 151 is insane to me.
Okay, well, I think
What
you're.
are people
I
saying in
think
the chat?
I'm not.
Kistler
I don't.
says he take 50 to 1 right now. Yeah, but Kistler's an idiot.
I mean, that's harsh. I think it's just it's a matter of how you think whether or not his son will follow in his father's footsteps. I personally think he will.
Kistler. Name a better 14-year-old golfer in the world. Go ahead, DV. I'll wait. Yeah, I don't have a better one, but I'm just telling you.
Well, because you don't know any other 14-year-old
Of
golfers.
course. I'm not freaking stalking 14-year-old golfers. What are you talking about, Nita? Nita, his son doesn't have that pressure. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Michael Anthony says it's 50,000 to 1. Do you mean plus 50,000, so 500 to 1? And I know Tiger was a mental.
If you give me 50,000 to 1, I'll give you $5 right now.
Oh, wow. $5 whole dollars? Believing it that much? You believe that he should be you just kicked your own self in the wiener hole, because if you think he should be 50 to 1 and
No,
I get
I would give
1,000
more.
to 1 and you only
I
gave
was
me
just throwing
$5,
out $5.
that is not smart. Listen, I will yeah.
5,000 to 1.
5,001 is what he's saying. 5,000?
5,000 to 1.
That's Michael, that's too far. We've gone too far. We've swung the other way. It's too far. If you wanna bet, listen to this. If you wanna bet up to I'm broke, man. I'm freaking poor. I quit my job to do this shit right in the middle of Joe Biden's shitty economy. If you wanna give me $20 or less, 50 to 1, Charlie Woods to win a major by the time he's 25, I'll be the bookie. You send it to me. By the time he's 25.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to everybody.
You just added a layer. You never said by the time he's 25.
I know. Well, now because I'm becoming the sports book,
You,
I get
you
to add
added
later.
you added a whole different. It's like you're a magician, and you're like sleight of hand. I said this, but then I'm going to do this with on the other hand.
It's because I just became the book, so now the risk is all on me. So yes, by the time he's 25.
Well, then now my number changes a little bit from 50 to 1.
Okay, what is it?
By the time he's 25, I mean, I would probably put it closer to like 150 to 1. I mean, you moved the goalpost. It
So
was
what,
like
you're just really bullish on 30-year-olds winning majors in the next, I don't know, in the next 10 to 20
well, I
years?
mean, if it was lifetime, I would say like I had a little more time to like. I think you triple 50 to 1 and make it 150 to 1.
Hell no, I'm not doing that. I'm not staking that. I don't have that kind of money. I'm too broke. If I were our rich friend Ben, I would totally stake that. Maybe he will. We should ask Ben. Ben will be a good one to ask this to.
Let's get Ben in the chat or Wednesday night. By the way, if you're not in the Nut Hut, get in. We're going to talk about this week.
Okay, we should end it there. That was good. Good Tiger talk at the end. I'm telling you, Charlie's doing some serious shrugging in the gym. Like that, he's just on a strictly shrugs regiment. It's unbelievable. All right. Thanks, everybody. May your screens be green. Bend over your bookie for the Cadence Bank Houston Open. We'll be back next week for the RSM. It's going to be a good week. It's the last week you're going to get us together for a while, so be there, okay? All right?